What's going on, family? I'm here in Detroit. We are looking at 3D printing. This is a technology I've been looking at for a number of years now, and I'm super excited to share it with you all. This is 3D printing technology is taking off in other parts of the world. China was one of the forerunners in doing this work. Abu Dhabi has committed to 50% of their manufacturing to be done by 3D printing by 2030, and the United States, we own it. So I'm here in Detroit right now at the 50-year celebration of the NOMA organization, at our NOMA conference. We're back where it started, and one of the greatest things is that we're also learning about 3D printing. So I'm going to show you a couple of products that have been produced this way, and we're not talking about your regular 3D printing of products. We're talking about 3D printing of housing, and I'm going to show you a couple of examples, and we'll talk to Tom, who's doing 3D printing here. All right, so we have this is the 3D printing machine. So you can see the arm that's currently going around. This is with Citizen Robotics. There's an arm going around, and that's how they do the extrusion for portions similar to this one right here. You can see that it would go around it and create the form. Here are some other forms. You can see some of the design work that you can get around it. Show you a couple of other ones on this side. And I really love this technology. I mean, it's a game changer for the construction industry. We can get affordable housing. I mean, let's look at some of these forms. Amazing, right? Some beautiful work. And now let me show you show me a couple of other products along with a wall. So this is a wall that was created. It's going to be filled in with insulation. This is one side, and this is the exterior side. And so they've taken the exterior, they have stucco on one side, plaster on the other. Like I said, it's a great technology, and I'm going to ask Tom to tell you a little bit more about what they're doing over here at Citizen Robotics. Hey, Tom. All right. So, would you like to tell folks on what is Citizen Robotics and the work that you're doing here and with 3D printing?
Yeah, you bet. Citizen Robotics is a nonprofit 501c3, and we're around in the community to teach people to use robots to build houses. And the point of that really is that we've been building with sticks for really thousands of years at this point, and kind of reached the limit of price point with sticks. Everything that we can afford to buy in everyday life, my glasses, my clothes, my shoes, is really made with robots, actually. And the only thing we're not making with robots is our housing, and that's one of the reasons that the housing costs have surpassed wages for the last so many years now. And so we're introducing 3D printing with robotics to the community so that they can build houses faster, cheaper, and with higher quality.
So when you say faster, how much faster is this process from a traditional stick-built home?
Great question. So really the speed comes from a couple of different places. One is the time between your ability to design it and your ability to start printing with it. It shrinks. And the other is that it's a replacement for framing construction. So if you think about a 1,500 square foot home, say, that might be 12 guys on site for a couple of weeks, and that's if they're really on it, right, and dedicated. Whereas this would be 2-3 operators and a robot over 4 days to do the replacement for the framing construction. The thing is that the innovation doesn't really stop there. The advantages doesn't really stop there. The other thing that can happen during those 4 days is you could also be done with the rough plumbing, rough electrical. And so it's really squeezing a whole bunch of little things out of the timeline.
Now, what's the cost look like?
The cost right now is looking like we can do it about 10 to 15% cheaper than stick-built construction.
Wow.
But the thing is, we're at the beginning of our innovation curve, and that price can really come down significantly once we start building in volume.
Now, you were saying that some of the folks that are working with you, I mean, we're in Detroit, so this is amazing. Like, to me, it just connects the dots with how manufacturing of cars happen, and you're just now taking that same technology, same thinking, and applying it to housing. So, what's the support for this type of work for you and your organization look like?
The support from the auto industry, I'd say? Honestly, we're largely, I mean, I don't think people in the automotive industry are so much paying attention to us.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean we aren't paying attention to them. We are taking tricks and tools straight out of advanced manufacturing and using them in our production process. So behind me, right, this is a 9-year-old robot that's been in the factory doing repetitive work, moving a piece, let's say, from here to there over and over and over. And also the rail has been taken out of an automotive plant. And we're repurposing it because a robot already knows how to extrude material layer by layer by layer. Talking about layers, this is another thing that we're kind of adopting or co-opting from the automotive industry, and that is that over time, over the last 100 years, we started making cars with humans and fasteners, and today what we've gone toward is layers over fasteners. When we choose layers, like so welding two pieces together or gluing two pieces together instead of fastening them together, it has aerodynamic advantages which translate actually to thermal advantages in the construction of a home. So rather than building a home in such a way that you require a lot of fasteners and then you've got to try to seal the envelope of the home, instead choose no fasteners, right? Choose things that you can, if you end up with a process that's layers inherently, don't then penetrate your structure with, say, cladding. Instead, choose things that you can say, you can lick and stick, right? You can do stucco, you can do thin brick, you can do thin stone. Things that you can immediately apply with adhesives instead of penetrating. And that's a trick that we're stealing from the automotive industry and what they've learned over 100 years of automation.
Now, this also, it seems like it takes us back to the use of masonry. And, I mean, as we've dealt with newer materials, we've gotten away from some of those very more traditional forms of just working with masons to do the work. And it seems like this gives them value, reintroduces them with new value to the process, along with some more advanced technologies.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I think, in fact, our mason that came and did our stucco work and our plaster work for us, he was like, you know what? This has a chance to bring back masonry as having a larger impact in the home building industry, and he was excited about it on that basis.
Now, for communities around the country who say, "Hey, I want to do this," is this a technology that, say, a homeowner would purchase the robot, or would that be something that a company would purchase and then build them for them? And if so, what's that price point look like for that industry?
So it's not realistic for a homeowner to buy a 3D printing robot on their own. This kind of a setup is going to be around $250,000. What does make sense is something similar to what the 3D printing industry has done over its 30 years of being in existence, and that is that it starts with people centering printers in community, making them publicly available, and then you can rent time on the printer, like a 3D printing service provider. And that's what we're kind of expecting to do here. Teach people how to use it, make it possible for them to use ours instead of making them buy one. Just kind of lowering that barrier to entry.
Awesome. Well, Tom, thank you. This has been amazing. I'm looking forward to learning a whole lot more, and I just appreciate you opening up and sharing with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks so much for coming out. Thanks for your interest.
Thank you. And for everybody, so we are we're about to go, and the rest of the folks are joining us from the conference to learn more about this 3D printing technology. But if you want to see the article that I published regarding this, it was in the NOMA magazine about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, talking about 3D printing technology. So I'm so excited to be here to see this work and to see how we can take this into our communities. Because if we can decrease the barrier to entry, we can create more opportunities for jobs. We can create greater opportunities to increase make a better housing stock. The opportunities really are endless. So we're going to sign off here, but we will keep you posted if and when, cross our fingers, and I guess knock on some concrete, that we'll get a chance to have some 3D printing technology in Tuskegee so that we can start building some housing there and then in other places around the country. So thank you all for watching, and I'm going to sign out now.